Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today we are flying the TFDI MD-11 once again, this time on a KLM route, namely on flight 47 from Amsterdam to Chicago. Now, 47 is a little bit of an older flight number that KLM used to use back in the day when they operated the MD-11. Nowadays the flight number would be 611, but if we can already get hold of an original flight plan from back in the day, then I do prefer to use that. Alrighty, so we're sitting in Amsterdam over here. As you can see, the weather is really not that good, even though it isn't as bad as it used to be not so many days ago when they had all the delays due to snowfall. Temperature 3 degrees, probably a little bit of de-icing needed today, so I would say let's get right into this and have a little bit of fun. So, as we are boarding our brand new TFDI MD-11, we can just have another look at that beautiful cabin in daylight over here, because TFDI have done a great job with the new 2024 version of the airplane, bringing the cabin to life. Really an awesome job done by them, so I can only applaud them for that level of detail that they brought into the airplane here. I mean, just, okay, invisible wall. More invisible walls? Okay, here we go. Just have a look at this. I mean, the walls are looking fantastic. You can move all the sunshades however you want. That's really very well done. Really very, very well done. I do like that. I do like that a lot. But now let's get into the flight deck and start our flight. And at this point, I would just like to thank today's sponsor, Say Intentions AI. If you're looking for an ATC add-on that is not just doing your standard IFR A to B flights, but also other things like VFR, data link, and even a cabin crew simulation, then Say Intentions may just about be for you. We will be using them today for our cabin crew as well as our air traffic control. So if you like it, check it out using the link in the pinned comment or the video description below. And then let's take a seat and start getting ready for our flight to Chicago. So we're going to start with the cockpit preparation procedure here. The logbook is checked and our airplane is in a good condition. The circuit breakers are all in on the top over there. Emergency equipment is checked. The weather radar switch is off. Fuel switches are off. The park brake cannot be set just yet, but the chocks are in position. The spoiler and the flap handles are up. The gear handle is down. Then we got the fuel dump and manifold pressure switches, which are guarded over here. Emergency power selector is off, and then we can power up our airplane. So let's put the battery on. Let's put the external powers on. Both of them. And then we can go ahead and start the APU straight away as well, because, well, it's cold. So, APU fire test. That's good enough for me. And start that APU, please. So, now that the APU is starting, let's go ahead and test the annunciator lights over here. And that is looking good. And then we're just waiting for the APU to start to get all the air conditioning and all that good stuff going. In the meantime, let's turn the IRSs on, 1, 2, and 3, which is also going to trigger the cargo fire test. Alright, that's looking good. And then we can just head right down into the FMS over here. So, we got FMC number 1, MD-11, nav database is up to date, flight plan in it. That position looks good, so let's hit initialize IRS. And with that, the IRSs are coming. Then we can also download the flight plan down here in the electronic flight bag. Unfortunately, still no PDF viewer in there, so we have to get the flight plan up the good old conventional way to get you guys into the loop of what we are about to do today. So, well, if there is no other way than that, then we are just gonna do it. So, here's our flight plan, starting with our route. We're departing Amsterdam, heading across the UK and Northern Ireland, into the Atlantic, just south of the tip of Greenland, and then over to the Great Lakes and into Chicago. The significant weather chart is rather congested today. We got a lot of low-level icing over here. We also have that area of clear turbulence around this jet stream that we're heading through. Then the Atlantic itself is also going to give us turbulence and a lot of headwind over here when we're reaching the southern tip of Greenland. Not much we can do about that, honestly. And then once we made landfall in Canada, we are going to leave that weather and eventually have a smooth flight over into Chicago. Now, for the airport weather, we've got Amsterdam, restricted visibility here. Wind is southerly at 11 knots, departing runway 18 left today. And, well, just a bit of low clouds, temperature 3, dew point 3, becoming broken 200, so really not the best of weather here. Still with an ILS Cat 1 minima, though. Our destination, Chicago, is a little bit easier. Overall, they got a little bit of gusts, and probably one of the 28's going to be active today. Temperature -3 at the moment, gonna get better. Overall, good flying conditions in good visibility. Our alternate, we do have a takeoff alternate in Maastricht-Aachen, which is good, and then we got Milwaukee as our destination alternate. Same thing as Chicago, really, so nothing to worry about. Alright, so that much about our weather. Departing at 10:35, we are going to arrive 20 minutes late in Chicago, unfortunately. Not much we can do about that. Certainly not with the weather that we're expecting today. The weights are all looking good, starting in level 320, later on level 34 and 360, and even 380 by 80 West. And then looking down into the fuel section, 77.1 plus taxi fuel. We are going to take a little bit more than that, so I suppose we are going to end up at 80 tons of fuel, and then we should be good. Alright, that should cover us for everything, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Send the flight plan to the FMC, please. Set the payload and fuel, please. However, we still need to adjust that, so just go back here. Zero fuel weight, we're looking at an estimated 179,900. Why is that stuff in pounds? We're definitely not going to fly this in pounds. Metric, please. Thank you. Alright, that's easier. So we said we are looking for 179,900, and the fuel is going to be 80 tons today. So 80 tons. Alright, set that payload please, and here we go. And then we can go over into the performance. Amsterdam, runway 18 left, full length. I'm just going to get that weather and weight. The packs are probably going to be on, then let's hit calculate. And we can take off. Surprise. Alright, so that's looking good. Anti-ice should probably have turned that one on. Engine anti-ice, please. But still looking good. Alright, beautiful. So we now know that we can take off. We can't pin any charts on this airplane anyway, so let's go right into the pre-flight procedures. So, starting up here, the IRSs are on nav. CBR test is looking good. Cargo temperatures can stay at a minimum. Engine ignition off light is on. Then for the hydraulics, let's do the hydraulic system test, please. Here we go, test in progress. And while that's in progress, we can move down. APU power is going to come on, and APU air is going to come on. Emergency power is armed. Then going further down, that fuel distribution is looking good. Leading us to the air panel, we arm the emergency lights. No smoking's coming on, seatbelts coming on, nav lights are coming on, and the rest of the lights, well, I tell you what, we are probably not going to do anything? Yes, it is. Okay. Then I am just going to turn those lights on, because... Come on, simulator, don't block my camera. This is such an annoying bug. Alright, here we go. We'll keep those lights, just so that everything is visible a little bit nicer. The same goes for all the display brightness switches down here. Alright, like that. Man, the simulator is lagging when you're looking around. Okay, so that's all the good stuff done over here. Then let's do the GPWS test real quick. We can do the short version of the test. Fuel used reset. As refueling is finished, we can leave the annunciator lights in bright. That's all looking good. Leading us down to the main panel. We absolutely do want the QNH in hectopascals. Then we can see if there is any way to get data link ATIS. So let's see, ATIS Echo Hotel Alpha Mike, and we are looking for a departure ATIS, but no send prompt. Okay, don't ask me what's going on there. Pre-flight, init, ATIS. Nope. Just not working. Okay, so be it. Alright. So that's that. Then let's continue on. We'll just set the QNH so that the field elevation is correct. Should be something over here, 1008 like, or 1006. Alright, main panel is set. Then let's move down here. Same thing with the QNH on the standby gauge. Let's just set it to pretty much 0, which basically is the elevation in Amsterdam. We'll confirm that with the Asus in a few moments anyway, and then we can reset the QNH if necessary. Alright, standby attitude is aligned. Auto brake is going into takeoff. For the frequencies, let's quickly find our departure airport here. Echo Hotel Alpha Mike, search, taxi, and then we are looking for... What the? No, close that window and return my EFB to me. Alright, here we are. That's our airport chart. Okay, so delivery 121.908. That will give us the ground frequency anyway, so let's tune 1 to 1.5. Sometimes this scrolling acceleration can be annoying. Hey, why is that? Here we go. Alright, and the Asus will be on 122.205. Alright, then let's move on. Transmitting on VHF1, listening to 1 and 2 and the interphone. Weather radar stays off for the time being, squawk 2000 and above. In the center everything is set. On the right side, that stuff is set as well now, and that's pretty much it. Interesting, we can only select one mic, either left or right side. I'm fairly sure that's not supposed to be the case. Like, it should disable itself if you do something here, but look at how that's moving both control panels. No, that's pretty surely not how this is supposed to be. Okay then, anyway, let's go ahead and continue with our FMS setup now. So, very quick check of the Asus to make sure that we do get the departure runway right.
Transition level 50, advise on course heading, altitude, and if traffic service is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. RWY09er/27CLSD until 28 SEP Route 1600 Zulu, advise on initial contact. You have information Sierra. Amsterdam Airport, information Sierra. 09er25 Zulu. Arriving runways 22, 27, 18 right. Departing runways 22, 24, 18 left. Wind 175 at 11. Visibility 1. Sky conditions, scattered at 200 feet. Broken at 300 feet. Temperature 3. Dew point 3. QNH 1006. Transition level.
Okay, 1006 is confirmed. Good.
Traffic service is requested.
Alright, with that we've got the Asus on board, and it's pretty much exactly as expected. That's fine with me. Alright then, let's continue. So the flight plan in page is filled out. Milwaukee, KLM 47, cruise levels are in here, temperatures and winds as well. Then let's continue on the flight plan page. We are departing Amsterdam off runway 18 left, and we got the Bergy for echo departure, which we can insert. Then let's scroll this all the way down into Chicago. They plan 28 right. So, Court, Star, and we got the wind 3 arrival for an ILS approach 28 right. Here we go, ILS 28 right. Wind 3, and we are coming from Odaxi. So, onto the progress page. Distance to go 3,720, and in here it's 3,708. That's good enough for my taste. Then let's continue back to the init page number 2. Over here we got a couple of fuel figures that we need to insert. So, contingency is 2.1, alternate is 3.4, and final is 2.9. Like that. Alright, so that stuff is in. Then let's go on to the reference page and the defined waypoints. Over here we got X, whatever, I'll call it 1. And that's going to be based on Amsterdam. Runway track is 183 if I'm not mistaken, but let's cheat. 182. And 25 miles straight ahead. Enter that. Okay, so fixed page X1 for the engine out waypoint. No intercept is fine with me. Okay, so secondary flight plan. Down here is going to become a copy of the active. And that's it. Okay, cool. So with that, our FMS setup is completed, except for the standard instrument departure, which we can also grab real quickly. Yeah, lag a little bit more, because why wouldn't you? Alright, so we're looking for baggy departures. Baggy for Echo. Here it is. So, off 18 left, straight ahead to 500, right turn Alpha Mike 029er. And we got 500, Alpha Mike 029er, maximum 220 knots, which is checked. Right turn 009 above 2500, and then 028. And that's in here, and then on to Bergi. Alright, initial climb clearance, flight level 60. Like that, and that's it. Good. So then we're basically done with our setup. The routing over here looks pretty much like I would expect it. And that's it then. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and do our departure briefing, please. So we're departing off Amsterdam's runway 18 left. It's going to be the Bergi for Echo departure, initial 6000. MSA is 2000, no cold temperature correction needed. We got +3 degrees. We are going to have an extra fuel of about 3 tons, which is going to give us pretty much half an hour. Now we've got no hotspots for our taxi out. Well, we do. That's a runway crossing of runway 0927 involved, and we are definitely not going to take the intersection. We will take the full length there. Apart from that, stop margin for ejected takeoff will be a couple meters. Engine out sit straight at 25 miles to pick up the holding, and our sit leads. Well, from there, if we need to return, we're above the max landing weight, but runways are long. We can make an immediate return only if necessary for an unextinguishable fire. Otherwise, pick up the holding, consider fuel dumping, and consider our options, work the checklists, take everything slowly. Now, we've got nothing special for the sit, nothing non-standard for the sit. Threats for the departure? I honestly don't see any. So, miscellaneous, we do have the 220 knot restriction, so we gotta keep our flaps, well, our slats at least, extended. And that's it. Any questions? No? Beautiful. So that's our departure briefing completed. Then let's go ahead and do our performance, please. So, 179.9, and they don't tell us any CG. Lovely. Alright. Well then, let's see. 80 tons is correct. Y is... okay, that's okay. Alright, and then we are just going to take over those figures as well. That is all looking good. And that gives us a takeoff weight of 260 tons, basically. So, let's see what we got in here. Performance. Yeah, that's okay. So, 47 degrees flex at flaps 20. So, flex 47, flaps 20, 0 and 0, temperature is 3 degrees Celsius. Climb thrust we'll use 1500 and acceleration in 1500 as well. Engine out acceleration will be in 1500 as well. And then we got takeoff speeds of 161, 169, 177. Like that. Alright, perfect. That's our mathematics complete. Packs on. Well, and then let's go for our PA. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel in the name of KLM. Welcome aboard our MD-11 on our flight to Chicago. Today's flight time has been calculated as 8 hours and 45 minutes, and once we've de-iced the aircraft, we will now make our way towards Chicago. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the trip with us. If there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew members. Thank you very much for your attention, and again, welcome aboard. Alright, pushback by KLM. I'll select no de-icing yet. We will do that later when we reopen that menu. Okay, in the meantime, we got pretty much everything done. The doors are closed. Then you guys can remove the external power as well. And set that parking brake. So, services, disconnect GPU, remove wheel chocks. And that's it. Well then, let's go ahead and call for clearance. Amsterdam delivery, KLM 47, request IFR clearance to Chicago.
I'll have your clearance in just a second. KLM 47, cleared to Chicago O'Hare via the Berg 4 Echo departure. Climb flight level 060. Expect flight level 320 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.08 squawk 1271. Expect runway 18 left.
KLM 47 is cleared to Chicago via the Berg 4 Echo departure, runway 18 left. Climb flight level 60, departure 118.08 squawk 1271. 18 left, Berg 4 Echo is confirmed. 1808.
KLM 47, read back correct. Ground will be on 121.655.
121.655. KLM 47. Okay then. All that stuff is looking good. Then let's go ahead and do the cockpit checklist, please.
Welcome aboard KLM Royal Dutch Airlines Flight 47, departing from Amsterdam Airport Schiphol.
Those lags
Chicago,
when quickly
O'Hare
resetting the viewpoints are really annoying, aren't they?
Passes,
okay, so cockpit checklist. Gear pins removed, pitot-static checked, cabin signs on, FCP set, speed bands 0 and... Why is that showing 5? That's gotta be GSX. Okay, anyway, taxi. Altimeters, QNH 1006, reading 0, set left, and... set right. So, fuel, 80 tons. System display status checked. System modes, auto, takeoff data, inserted. Auto brake, takeoff, takeoff warning checked. Flap takeoff selector. I knew there was something. Set 20. Cockpit checklist complete. Alright then, let's go ahead and get the de-icing. So, to prepare the airplane, let's see, no smoking switch is on, APU is required and stays on. Then air system selector, manual. Okay, APU bleeder switch off. Bleed air switches all off. Here we go, stabilizer trim, set 3 units nose up, that's already set, flaps and slats, up retracted, park and brake as required on, and ground crew communication established, and that's the procedure completed so far. Okay. Ground flight deck. Hi, please confirm that all the doors and hatches are closed, ground equipment is removed, and the bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed. Roger, then the airplane is ready for de-icing at your discretion. And you can use a 50-50 mix, and you can start the de-icing now, please. So this is just to remove any remains of ice that might have built up on the aircraft, not to actually protect it against new icing, since we got positive temperatures here. But what normally happens is that the airplane spends a long time at high altitude, then the entire fuselage becomes very cold, especially the fuel that's remaining in the wings. Then you descend into the lower atmosphere where the air is more moist, but your aircraft's fuselage still has negative temperatures. And then you get ice forming up on the aircraft, even though it may not actually have icing conditions on the ground. Seeing that Ryanair in the background there is this very famous case from Ryanair where they landed somewhere in southern Italy where you never have real ice forming on the ground, but due to the effects that I just explained, the airplane had actually caught on quite a bit of icing, and they didn't have any de-icing equipment at the airport. So what did they do? They caught some ladders, they caught some buckets of hot water, and poured that over the wings. And a couple days later there's been a memo that unorthodox de-icing methods, quote end, are not approved for use. So yeah, that stuff does absolutely happen. So we just gotta get that Ryanair to move away from there, because otherwise they are going to block our pushback. But I'm sure we'll eventually get there. Okay, so de-icing is about to come to an end here. Or at least it should be about to come to an end here. Alright, here we go. De-icing procedure is complete. Then, when de-icing is complete, air system select switch auto. Auto. Okay, slat flap system, cycle 50, set takeoff. We'll do that once pushback is completed. The same goes for the stabilizer trim and the flight control track, and with that the checklist is completed. Alright, nice. Then we are done with that good stuff, so let's go ahead and get the airplane ready to go. Skip all ground, KLM 47, request pushback and start up.
KLM 47, pushback and startup approved. Face north.
Pushback and startup approved, facing north, KLM 47. Alright, B4 start checklist. Cabin secured, mobiles off, engine ignition, A, beacon on, system modes, all auto, and park and brake is set. B4 start checklist complete. So, ground from flight deck, we are clear to push and start facing north, and the park and brake is now released. Roger, start the pushback and stand by for engine start. So, we don't need that timer anymore, can reset that. And here we go.
and gentlemen, welcome aboard KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, Flight 47, departing from Amsterdam Airport, Schiphol to Chicago O'Hare International Airport. Our estimated flight time is approximately 80 minutes.
Alright then.
Please pay close
No, the
attention
flight
to
time is
the
not
upcoming
80
safety
minutes.
demonstration as it contains important information.
Okay, so we'll be starting engines 312 in that
Fasten
sequence,
your seatbelt,
and we'll begin
insert
with
the metal
engine
fitting
number
into
3
the
now.
until you hear a click. To tighten,
Engine 3
pull the
starts.
strap. To release,
Start air pressure low. Yep,
remember,
that is going
your
to fix
seatbelt must be
itself.
fastened
Here we go.
whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. Please return your seat backs and tray tables to the
And 2.
upright position, and ensure that your window blinds are opened for takeoff and landing. Mobile phones and electronic devices must be
Oil
set to
pressure.
flight mode.
And 1.
Laptops or larger devices
Fuel
should
on.
be securely stowed during takeoff and landing. Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes are strictly prohibited anywhere on board, including the lavatories. In the event of a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop automatically.
Alright, pushback is
Pull the mask firmly towards you.
complete. No, it's
Place
not.
it over your nose and mouth, and breathe normally. Be sure to secure your own mask before assisting others. Your life vest is located under your seat, or between the seats. To put it on, pull it over your head, fasten it, and inflate
Start a
it over the
cutout.
outside of the aircraft.
Monitor 3, starting 1.
Special life vests
Taxi
for
to
children
parking
are available.
via Victor 2.
Floor level lighting will
Victor.
guide you to the nearest
Victor
exit,
Sierra.
which is close.
Victor. Whiskey 13. Hold short of runway 18 center. Then Whiskey 5, Delta. Bravo, Alpha 22, Alpha, Alpha 1.
That could be... no. I have no idea where the tuck release point is. Probably somewhere at the very front there. Could someone remove that Ryanair?
For details, please refer to the safety information regarding Thank you for your attention.
Bird 433, runway
Come on,
18
just
left
despawn
taxi
in
via
before we
Alpha
make
8.
contact.
Bravo, November 2, hold short of runway 27, then echo
Here we go.
Runway 18 left taxi via Alpha 8, Bravo, November 2, hold short of runway 27,
Alright,
then
it
Echo
does
6,
certainly help if you put the
433.
fuel on for an engine start. Hashtag not an Airbus. Alright, pushback completed, set brakes. And the brakes are set. Start a cutout, monitor 1, starting 2. And 2. Oil pressure.
Alpine 7953 ready to taxi.
And 1.
Alpine 7953.
Fuel on.
Runway 24 taxi via A19 East, Alpha, Alpha 8, Sierra 7.
Runway 24 taxi via A19er East, Alpha, Alpha 8, Sierra 7, Alpine 7953.
Alright. GSX is once again doing GSX things, taking ages for their procedures.
Flyer 903 Papa November ready to taxi.
Flyer 93 Papa November, runway 24 taxi via
Alright,
Alpha
we
6,
got 3 good
Bravo,
engine
Sierra
starts.
7.
You're clear to disconnect. Please show me the pin on the right hand side.
Runway 24 taxi via Alpha 6, Bravo,
So,
Sierra 7,
engine
Flyer
anti-ice
903
on,
Papa
windshield
November.
anti-ice on,
Allow 338 ready to
and
taxi.
APU off.
Allow 338, runway 24 taxi via Alpha 1.
Alright, they want us to
Alpha,
cycle the
Alpha 8,
flaps
Sierra 7.
completely, so let's do that now.
Runway 24 taxi via Alpha 17, Alpha, Alpha 8, Sierra 7, LL 338.
And while we're waiting... What's GSX doing? Come on, you piece of crap. Interrupt, yes. No comment. Okay, good. After start checklist. APU off, anti-ice on. System modes, auto, after start checklist complete. KLM 47, request taxi.
KLM 47, runway 18 left taxi via A19 center, Alpha, Alpha 13. November 2, hold short of runway 27, then Echo 6.
KLM 47, taxi to runway 18 left via Alpha 19er, Alpha 13, November 2, Echo 6 and hold short runway 27. Okay, so straight ahead on to Alpha 13, November 2, hold short, Echo 6. Good. Clear on the left side and clear on the right side. Park and brake released. Let's go. So the flaps are down in 50. And then Alpha is going to be the first taxiway to the right. Clear on the left side and clear on the right side. Alright.
Alpine 907 Echo Yankee ready to taxi.
So, taxi procedures please. Step trim
Alpine
9
Echo
units.
Yankee, runway 24 taxi.
It's indicated
Via
over here.
A19er East, Alpha 8, Sierra 7.
Runway 24 taxi via A19er East, Alpha 8, Sierra 7, Alpine 907 Echo Yankee.
Oh well, 8.9 is gonna do as well. Okay, good. Are you ready for the flight control track? So, pull up, pull down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, and the rudder, full left, full right,
KLM
neutral.
76 uniform. Taxi to parking via November 4, Alpha 18 Alpha.
Okay, Alpha 13 should be the next to the left.
Alpha 18, Alpha KLM 76
And
uniform.
we probably follow that British Airways over there.
KLM 1959 ready to taxi.
KLM 1959er, runway 18 left taxi via Alpha 10, Alpha 13.
Now what's that over here? No ice detected, that's fine. We're going to use the anti-ice anyway.
Runway 18 left taxi via
Alright,
Alpha
that's
10,
November
Alpha
2.
13, November 2.
Well,
hold
via
short,
Alpha
runway
13
27.
into November 2, that's
Echo
over
6,
here.
KLM 1959er.
KLM 76 uniform, give way to the Alpine ahead.
Giving way to the Alpine A319 KLM 76 uniform.
Okay, the left side is clear. So is the right side.
KLM 565, runway 18 left taxi via Alpha 14, Alpha 16, Alpha 13, November 2. Hold short.
So let's hope the
27,
British Airways is
then
going to get
Echo
their
6.
clearance to get moving again momentarily. But I think there is an airplane on the runway over there. Yep, there's an airplane.
Alpha 13, November 2.
So he's actually holding for a reason.
Then Echo 6, KLM 565.
Now he starts moving,
KLM
as the airplane arrives.
Runway 27, traffic holding in position.
Holding short runway 27, KLM 47. Okay, so the easiest passed and the
KLM 47, contact tower 118.105 for departure clearance.
118.105 KLM 47. Bye bye. Schiphol Tower, KLM 47, request crossing runway 27.
KLM 47, runway 27.
47 is closed. Cross runway 24, then continue taxi.
Roger, crossing the runway, KLM 47. Yeah, we just assume that he meant cross runway 27.
KLM 47,
Short on.
short of runway 27.
No.
Traffic holding in position.
Just no.
KLM 47, hold short of run.
Yeah, whatever. So we'll assume that we're clear to cross and there is definitely no traffic holding in position there. Alright, Echo 6 is to the left. Crossing 27, KLM 47. Haha. Why not straight away? Sometimes you just gotta force your luck. Hint, do try that at home, not at a real airport. Okay, good. So, just the British Airways in front of us, and then we're good to go. And there
Tower
already
KLM 706 established on the RNAV runway 27.
Roger.
We've got to admit, this looks pretty darn nice, doesn't it? So, holdover time is of no concern, since we actually got no freezing precipitation or anything. Alright, the British Airways is going, the wind is down the runway. KLM 47, ready for departure.
KLM 47, runway 18 left, hold short, A319 on the runway.
Holding short 18 left, KLM 47. Okay. Parking brake is set. Again, MD-11, you're sitting pretty darn high here, but as you can see, we are still quite a bit from the actual hold short line. So that's something to have in mind when you're steering an aircraft of this size.
KLM 47 heavy, runway 18 left, winds 170 at 11, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 18 left, clear for takeoff, KLM 47 heavy.
Schiphol Tower, KLM 34 Delta, established.
Alright,
runway
cabin
18
crew,
left.
prepare for departure. Transponder, weather radar, and I'm actually gonna go for that.
Short KLM 565.
Okay, takeoff checklist. Flight controls checked, flaps 20, spoilers armed, trims 8.9 units, nose up, EAD checked, takeoff checklist complete. There is one thing that I always forget in this airplane. That's setting the passenger load. Here we go, 300. It's 280 actual, so that's fine. Okay, ready? Take off. Stabilized. Set takeoff thrust.
740 short KLM 565.
Takeoff thrust set, indications normal, 80 knots. 1.
Short of runway 18 center.
Rotate.
Holding short of runway 18 center, Emirates 84 November.
Positive climb. Gear up. FMS speed, nav profile.
KLM47. Contact departure.
Autopilot.
118.088.
118.08, KLM 47, bye bye.
Short of runway 27, KLM 565.
No ice detected is checked. 11 degrees. Okay, then we can turn it off. Amsterdam departure, KLM 47, passing 2000, climbing flight level 60.
KLM 47, heavy, ship hold departure identified. Climb flight level 130.
Climbing flight level 130, KLM 47 heavy. Set and 130 checked. Alright, once we've completed the turn, I am going to commence flap retraction. I'm just keeping them out a tiny bit longer here because of the 220 restriction. Alright, are we going to remain clear of any of those clouds?
KLM 47.
Looks like it.
Climb flight level 210.
Climbing flight level 210, KLM 47. Checked. Alright, flaps up. Speed check, flaps up. KLM 47, request high speed below level 100.
KLM 47, contact Amsterdam radar on 134.375.
134.375, KLM 47.
KLM 47 heavy, approved high speed below flight level 100. Maintain flight level 060 until further advice.
High speed approved, maintaining level 60, KLM 47. Okay, 6000 checked. And then over to radar.
KLM 47.
Alright, and flaps, well, slot 0. Alright, set standard. Standard is thrust checked. At vertical speed. Amsterdam radar, KLM 47 heavy, passing flight level 54, climbing flight level 60.
KLM 47, Amsterdam radar identified. Good afternoon, Amsterdam, QNH 1005.
1005, KLM 47 heavy. We don't need the QNH, we're on the flight level. KLM 47, request further climb.
KLM 47, climb flight level 320. Cleared to Chicago O'Hare via Berg 4 Echo departure, then is filed.
Climbing flight level 320, KLM 47. I don't know why he's giving me that clearance again. Okay, so flight level 320 is checked, and then we are continuing that climb. Alright, taxi lights can already go off, and we do not need that windshield anti-ice anymore either. Doesn't seem to be standard procedure to have it on in the MD-11, which is rather surprising to me, but if that's what they say, then that's what they say. Alrighty then, we're on climb thrust, so we don't need that timer any longer. ETA 1935. The schedule is 40, so we're actually quite good. 9.2 on arrival, and what was the minimum we required again? No, look at that, it's overwritten anything. That makes no sense at all. Let's see what happens if we reinsert that. 2.1 was still there, then we got 3.4 alternate and 2. Absolutely not. The earlier sector already approved high-speed KLM 47. Alright, here we go. 34 minutes extra as planned. Beautiful. So, flight level 323 is optimum.
47, maintain approved speed.
Thank you. Alright, so 323 is optimum, 320 is cruise level. That looks fantastic. Then we're going through level 100. Lights off, and that does not look turbulent, so I think we can release the passengers here.
You may use approved electronic devices in flight mode. Cabin service will begin.
Alright then, so far so good. Then I'd say sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. And if anything interesting happens, then I'll get back to you. Otherwise, see you on the approach into Chicago. Chicago approach, KLM 47 Heavy, passing 13,500, descending 11,000.
KLM 47 Heavy, Chicago approach, good afternoon, O'Hare, altimeter 3014. Expect the ILS runway 28 left approach into O'Hare.
Altimeter 3014, expecting 2H left, KLM 47 Heavy. KLM 47, any chance for the ILS 2H center?
Altimeter 3014.
KLM 47 Heavy, altimeter 3014 confirmed. Expect ILS runway 28 left approach. KLM 47 heavy, descend and maintain 8,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 8,000, KLM 47 heavy.
KLM 47 heavy, ILS 28 center is out of service. Expect ILS 28 left approach.
KLM 47 unable, runway 28 left. 2,286 meters, not doing that.
Altimeter 3014 confirmed. Expect ILS runway 28 left approach.
No! What the?
KLM 47 heavy, runways available, 28 left, 27 right, 27 center, 28 center. ILS 28 left is available. Confirm runway assignment.
Request runway 27 center, KLM 47. Okay.
Altimeter 3014 confirmed.
You shut up there. First officer. Okay, well, if they won't give us anything of those, then we gotta take those.
KLM 47 heavy, runway 27 center is available. Expect ILS runway 27 center approach.
Expecting the ILS runway 27 center, KLM 47 heavy. Okay.
KLM 47 heavy, altimeter 3014 confirmed. ILS 28 left is out of service.
No.
Altimeter 3014.
What are they doing? Come on. Silence. I kill you. Alright, so 27 center it is. So let's go ahead and select that. The rest can remain unchanged. We should still be flying to Ernie. What are you doing, airplane? You hold that heading, please. And then you fly back to Ernie. Which it just sequenced, okay. Well, then you fly to Pappy, okay. Sometimes I don't understand aircraft. And stop accelerating. You start slowing down. Alright, 250 thrust, heading 263, and then let's update that direct once more. I'm on the Pappy. Here we go. Nav. Alright. So, we are still following the Wind 3 arrival, expecting now the ILS approach from a 27 center. Now we were set up for 28 center, so let's quickly go ahead and find that chart. 27 center is what we're looking for. Here it is. Alright, so that's 853 the minimum. And the rest is pretty much unchanged. Excellent. So one more thing we need to set up down here. That's the flap takeoff selector, which is going to go into 15. Because that is the setting that we are regularly using during the approach. And well, then keep descending. Because I'm fairly certain we can expect a shortcut later on. Tell you what, just give me idle. So, idle clamp, and down we go. Alright, so, for the approach briefing, well, let's do the 10,000 foot checks first here. The fuel is balanced, and we got all pumps on, lights are on, angle of bank is at 25, fasten seatbelts on. The caution panel is looking good, and we're monitoring watch 1.5. Excellent. 10 checks complete. Good, so for the approach briefing then.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now
and
beginning
now we
our
can
final
return to
approach
FMS speed,
Chicago.
please.
Please turn off all electronic devices and stow them until we arrive at the gate. Kindly put your tray tables away and ensure...
So, for the briefing, it's going to be a radar vector to ILS approach from a 27 center. For now, we're following the Wind 3 arrival, descending down to 8,000. That's 1,000 to go.
So you might want to grab your coats.
So, vertical speed is selected. Alright, and you should be on inches, please. Thank you. Okay, so radar vectors for the approach. Go around to the right and turn, climbing, I think it's 3,000. Let me recheck. 4,000, okay. So, 3,400 is the MSA, outside temperature -2, that means cold temperature corrections are in effect, and that gives us basically 3,700 as corrected altitude. And that's mostly it. Let's see if we can grab any shortcut here. KLM 47, request vectors to final approach. Let's see what they are gonna do.
KLM 47 heavy, turn left, heading 100 vectors for the ILS runway 28 left approach.
Left heading 100, vectors for the approach. KLM 47 heavy. And he's saying 28 again. I can't believe it. Alright, well, vectors for the approach, that's it. Let's continue the briefing in the meantime. We are going to do an ILS approach runway 27 center, which we had just negotiated with our traffic control. And yeah, then we are going to fly that with flight director guidance, flaps 50, auto brakes minimum, vacate, well, auto brakes medium, vacate the runway to the left hand side, and then eventually guidance towards the terminal. Threats for the taxi, I don't think we have any. Now it would be really helpful if we could pin a charge, but okay. Well, and that's mostly it. Any questions? No? Alright, briefing complete.
133.0 for Skywest 4790.
That was not exactly the kind of briefing that I do like.
Lindbergh 4410, contact O'Hare Tower on 133.0.
So, you're vectoring us in the wrong direction. I hope you are aware of that.
133.0 for Lindbergh 4410.
Let's try one more time. KLM 47, request vectors ILS 27 center. If they don't understand it now, then I'm just going to kill them because we will not land on 28 left. I'm not going to go onto the 2200.
Heavy, turn left heading 075 vectors for the ILS runway 28 left approach.
Okay, nope, I'm done with this. Shutdown ATC. And right hand turn onto the base. Heading 200. Descending down to 4000. So, heading 200, idle climb 4000. For the FMS, we can take Jambo on top, please. Here we go. Alright, and that puts us almost on profile. Looking very good. Okay then, I am going to keep the speed right where it is, 17 miles from the approach, 7,000 feet. Yeah, we are making a couple extra track miles here by going 90 degrees to the approach. That is going to be fine. Alrighty. Then you can have a lesser range, please. Terrain is selected. TCAR is going into below, even though that's not really going to matter anymore now. And then let's do the approach checkers, please. So, system displays, well, all auto, and altimeter QNH 3014. Approach checkers complete. Alright, the glide slope is coming alive. And slats extend. Speed checked. Okay then, heading 250, let's turn towards the final. We're going through the glide slope now. $700 feet a minute, and let's go down to 200 knots, 15 miles out. Quite a bit of headwind here though, so that should be easy, and approach armed. Checked. Why is it in hold 4000 already? Should be vertical speed, shouldn't it? Here we go, vertical speed 4000. Okay, so the FMS wants to start reducing as well now. Let's go to FMS speed. Our field is inside right over there. Localizer capture. Hold 4000. Runway heading 274 set. Alright then, Chicago, here we are. I gotta say, this looks pretty beautiful with the downtown over there. Even though I probably not want to go swimming now. Okay, so glide slope alive, flaps 15. Speed checked, flaps 15. Glide slope capture. Around altitude 4000 set. And just one last thing while I'm thinking of it, we do need a cold temperature correction on that minimum. It's 200 AGL, so 20 feet on top. That makes it 873. Here we go. Alright, lovely. Then let's take it manually and have some fun. By the way, don't ask me why the sound keeps interrupting all the time. I have absolutely no idea on that. Train noted, and gear down. Flaps 28. Flaps 35. Speed check, flaps 35. And flaps 50. Speed check, flaps 50. Alright, landing checklist. Landing gear down 3 green, auto brakes medium, spoilers armed, flaps 50, and holding at the EAD. Lovely ground speed there of just 122 knots. That's quite a bit of wind up here. Alright, let's take manual thrust and see how that's gonna go. We've done an auto landing, or an automatic thrust landing last time. Alright, here's the EAD, that's green, and that's the landing checklist complete. Yeah, no idea what that sound is doing.
1000.
I really gotta say, from the first version of the plane that we flew on this channel to where the plane is now, that is a whole different animal. TFDI have really taken all the feedback and integrated it into the product. They've done an awesome job, really. A lot of aileron here. Oh, no glide slope. We are still on the poppy. That's a bit of weather here.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And welcome to Chicago. Looking forward to all the butter comments. Speed brake up, thrust was normal. 100 knots. 80 knots, manual brakes. Alright. Should have flared a tiny bit earlier. But the plane can take that. Okay then, off to the left. So we'll go slightly right, first left to cross runway 27 left, which is the takeoff runway that they use. Okay then, left over here. Okay, so 27 left, crossing is approved, and then thereafter we are gonna go to the left-hand side. Alright, left side is clear, right side is clear. Weather has not been an issue, respectively icing. Strobe light is going to remain on for the crossing. And then on the other side, off to the left. Okay. So there isn't any after landing checklist in this plane, so that's nothing for us to worry about. So runway 4 left, clear to cross. High intensity lights are still on, good. Nose light shall do in taxi though. Alright, one thing that I keep forgetting in this plane is to set the stabilizer trim. But first things first, runway is vacated, high intensity light off, and then stabilizer trim 3 units. Like that. Cool. Alright, we can delay the APU start a little bit. Let's go ahead and find the taxi charts. I tell you honestly, this layout here needs improvement. We're parking down there. Come on. The problem is you cannot scroll on these. You gotta pull them up and down, and that doesn't work very well. So there's something for a TFDI to still improve on the aircraft. They have done a great job with the update, but it isn't perfect yet. They still have to do some more work on it. But yeah, we are going to find the gates. So we got the first onto the right then, which is coming up over there, Golf 2. I'm going to take it slowly around the corner here at 20 knots. Like this. Okay, the right hand side is clear. We are gonna go the second taxiway to the right and then southbound on here. Over to the terminal, which is on the left hand side. Okay, on the left everything is clear. The right is clear. So let's see how that bridge is going to cope with our weight. We are at around about 200 tons here. Well, 195, 190, that's fine with me as well. 198.5, that's what I wanted to say. Ooh, that may look like it might become a little bit bumpy here. So let's rather go a little bit quicker. Okay, that bump was nothing in the end. Fine with me. So the only problem now is that I can't really find any stand number because I can't access the parking chart. So we'll just have to help ourselves with that. Parking gates. Aha. Okay, so down here, Mike 21. That is where they parked the last real KLM flight. Why? We're not in a pushback. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so just gotta get around this, over to the terminal over there. So, that's our second flight in the TFDI MD-11 completed. And it definitely is still a very interesting airplane to fly. Now, not perfect just yet. You can see how I always have to spool the engines up in order not to lose my speed during the taxi and stuff like that. But let's face it, that's not the end of the world. Like, it isn't perfect, and I'm sure TFDI is going to make it better. Let's also start that APU. But you can see where into which direction all of this is going. Now, Mike 21 should be somewhere over here. Is there any GSX stuff anywhere? No. No comment on GSX. We'll just take the next stand on our side. So, lights off, radar off, and here's the gate. That's Mike 15, okay. That does not match the chart. Well, I don't care. We're gonna take this one. Okay, I'll just go all the way to the front then and park it over there. Interesting. Alright, here we are. Parking brake is set, APU power available, and 132. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Alright guys, last time you told me I don't need to press the APU power button when the APU is starting. We did start the APU, it shut down nonetheless. Because why wouldn't it, huh? I honestly got no idea why it's doing this. None at all. But yeah, get us ground power then. Look at that, now the APU power button is flashing again. Well, okay. I don't care. Just give me power. Must have shut itself down again when we tried to load it. Yeah, don't ask me why. We'll just have to accept that. So be it. Alright. So, all that stuff is off. We can also shut those IRSs already and do the shutdown checklist, please. Parking checklist. Exterior lights. Set. Anti-ice. Off. Step trim. 3 degrees. Nose up. System display. Status. Checked. System modes. All auto. Spoilers retracted. Flap slats up. Retracted. Fuel switches off. Park and brake. Set. Weather radar off. Transponder 2000 and standby, and APU air on. Alright, parking checklist complete. And that concludes our second flight in the TFDI MD-11. I do hope that you enjoyed this one. As always, be sure to leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. Like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much, and see you all again on the next one.